it is going to happen.
Hoya guys, back to our YouTube channel. Thanks for your great support. Nyinyi ni watu wa nguvu zaidi. Nasema karibuni tena niendelee kupakulia jinsi ambavyo mambo yanachemka hapa nchini Kenya. Hii mambo ya wizi ya kura. Kumbe Rigathi Gachagua ako upande wa United States of America looking for the Iebc ya US iweze kujiri hapa nchini Kenya kusimamia uchaguzi 2027. Because now place imefikia ni kwamba Iebc ambayo imekuwa elected by President William Ruto itadampu wa Kenya. Washa realize. Hey, that's why unaona Rigathi Gachagua anajaribu ili Iebc ya United States of America iweze kuwa released 2027 ije isimamie uchaguzi wa Kenya. Ndo uchaguzi uwe wa haki na wa kweli without any rigging. Why do you think Rigathi Gachagua aliingia pale na hiyo intention? Kitu ya kwanza, Kamket, member of parliament, amejaribu tena telling Kenyans kwamba wako tu tayari kujazia William Ruto kura. Unaona watu wangu? Sikiza.
Hakuna maneno mengi sana ya kusema. Nikiangalia nyinyi vile mnakaa na hata wale wametembea, mimi naona kama nyinyi ni watu wa two term. Si ndio hivyo? So there is no need to preach to the converted. Yangu tu ni kuwaombea na sisi tuendelee kusupport serikali. Mimi na Oscar huwa tunasema maneno kali kidogo saa zingine. Oscar anasema isipojaa tutajaza. Na mimi nasema kwa njia nyingine style, but we are saying the same thing basically. Kwamba lazima ijae kwa vyovyote vile. Si namna hiyo? Basi namna hiyo. Asante.
Hiyo ndio maneno kama gani? Isipojaa tutajaza. Na kura ya watu si hata tutajaza na nini?
Sisi kama wabunge wa North Eastern, nikiongea kutoka Wajia, sisi maneno ya His Excellency the President, sisi maneno yetu ni mafupi tu. Tunasema tu two term. Ama kuna maneno mengine? Two term, sio? Si tunangojea tu debe iletwe, hata kama hatutakuwa na votes tutamuibia, hiyo si siri.
Jipange vizuri. Hii kura ya 2027 tutanyorosha asubuhi na mapema. Mwezi wa swasi. Nyorosha asubuhi na mapema. Tuendelee kufanya kazi. Kwani hii kazi tunafanya sio kuomba kura. Si ndio tunazidi kuomba kura. Si nyinyi mtajaza. Isipojaa tunajaza na. Si hata tunajaza na mawe, tutajaza na kura. Na tukiona kidogo jai tunaomba ya kujaza, yani lazima ijae.
Kuambia wanasiasa wakiongozwa na Mheshimiwa Oscar Sudi na kamama kengine msichana kanatoka huko North Eastern na wengine wanasema kura ya 2027 kura isipojaa wataongeza. Wewe sikia msichana ya North Eastern, kura yenu North Eastern sio hata kura ya nusu ya Ikolomani. You have no votes. Where votes are, don't talk. Shut up. We know what it means to rig an election. Is an experiment which is very, very dangerous. Oscar Sudi yubanwasoma bulei bera na kuchip. I therefore want to appeal to the commissioners of IEBC, led by Etukon, your new leader, na nyinyi ambao mko hapa, muhakikishe kwamba the election to be free and fair.
So now, kufikia hapo, ensure kwanza umelike video na nasema thanks kwa hiyo like zenu. Kwa hivyo guys, in response, Senator Wanyamira, huyu jamaa ni lawyer na ni mtu amesoma zaidi, amejaribu delivering a message to Kenyans and to President William Ruto. Sikiza.
I don't take the pronouncements by Kamket lightly. I sense that the UDA brigade is sensing defeat, because when you start telling people that we are going to do ballot stuffing, it means that you are sensing defeat. And I've been involved in a number of election petitions. Ballot stuffing happens. I'm sure my good friend here will tell you. That's why oftentimes you'll find situations where the court will say, we need the ballots here, we need to do scrutiny. I don't know whether you remember what happened in, I think that was 2007, in the Georgia parliamentary by-election, where the returning officer was ordered by the court to bring the ballot boxes to court. And he said, I'm sorry, I don't know where to find the ballots. Because he knew that if the court was to go through the ballots, very, very shocking things could have been found there. So when somebody tells you that we are planning to do ballot stuffing, don't dismiss them. That should be a warning shot to the Iebc that there are people out there who are planning to rig an election. And as I've said, rigging an election is not just making a declaration, it's looking for spots where you can manipulate the process by maybe keeping off party agents. Yeah. And you know, because of insecurity issues, you know what happened in 2017. If you followed the presidential election petition, we were not able to get results that could be verified from some parts of northeastern Kenya, you know. You know what happened in 2007 from the Tharaka Nithi. So these can happen, and it's not just in Africa. If you follow world all over, even in the US in the 40s, ballot stuffing used to happen. When Lyndon Johnson lost his first senatorial attempt in Texas, is because he hadn't learned the tricks of the game. So he released all the results from his stronghold, whereas the opponent was still withholding his. So they waited and looked at the numbers, then they did the thing, and that is it. So when somebody tells you this, we as a people, we should really look at the warning signs. If you followed the NADCO discussions and the proposals to amend the electoral laws, this was one of the key issues in NADCO. And we even proposed, and that is on the floor now, that going forward, we shall hold the person managing a polling station criminally liable for any inconsistencies in the number of votes that are registered. So if you issue 200 ballots, okay, and we find in a box we have 250, we take it that you are trying to deliberately interfere with the electoral process, and all you criminally liable. Or if you transmit, you know what happens if you follow elections, is somebody will get 200 votes in a polling station, okay? But when you transmit means you are sending results from a polling station to the tallying center. You change the figures. You say 200, you say 290. And the excuses they normally say in court, you know, I was tired, that was a typing error, it was a mistake. Now the proposal on the floor is, if you do any manipulation, it's a criminal offense. We will hold you personally as an individual liable. If you are a teacher and you are participating as an electoral officer and you commit that mistake, we will be charged in a court of law. If you are found guilty, then you exit. So really, let the Iebc do an audit on the mistakes that have been committed in the past by various electoral officials and move forward to have a fair, free and credible
And also Mukunji and Ken Babu decided to lecture President William Ruto. And hii yote ni warning guys to President William Ruto. Because place imefikia saizi, it is clear that hao watu wanataka kurig election, na hiyo inaonyesha kwamba washa sense defeat in 2027. I can tell you, washa sense defeat. Excuse.
They are going to steal elections. They are going to ensure that William Samoei Ruto wins the election, whether people vote for him or not. Just to mention, Mheshimiwa Kamket's on record saying that they are going to ensure that the ballot boxes are full. whether Kenyans want it or not. So the press, my name is Senator Ken Babu, and I'm here to make some comments on the critical issues that are going around. We've seen some members of parliament from the broad-based side, specifically the UDA party, threatening Kenyans and issuing some unconstitutional statements that they are going to steal elections. They are going to ensure that William Samoei Ruto wins the election, whether people vote for him or not. Just to mention, Mheshimiwa Kamket's on record saying that they are going to ensure that the ballot boxes are full, whether Kenyans want it or not. I want to say and put on record that these are sentiments that must be condemned in the strongest term possible. And I want to tell you, Mheshimiwa Kamket and any other person who thinks that the 2027 election will be stolen, that you cannot steal a vote that the Kenyan youth has woken up and casted. If you want a peaceful and fair elections, come to the ballot with a clear mindset that Kenyans will vote for the person they feel can lead this nation. President Ruto has shown and proven beyond reasonable doubt that he cannot deliver that which he promised. And anybody who thinks otherwise and thinks that there is an opportunity to steal or exercise electoral malpractice must be informed that Kenyans are awake and nobody is going to allow any vote, not even a single vote, to be stolen. The youth of this country have made a determination to not only vote in the 2027 elections, but to protect each and every vote that they shall have casted. So that it should be on record that any politician or any leader, which regardless of which side you are, and this specifically to the Kenya Kwanza regime, who have realized that they do not have grounds to win any elections. If you think that you are going to steal the votes, forget about it, because we are going to remain watchful and vigilant on this issue. And if you dare make an attempt of putting up electoral malpractice, it is the people at your polling station that will deal with you. The police will come for you after the people shall have dealt with you accordingly, because we must put this country in a space that it should be. For the youth, we must not let such a thing happen. Right now, the old men in the government are making serious mistakes, serious blunders that are going to eat into our future. And the electoral malpractice is the height of it, and we must not allow it. Anytime we speak of accountability and put these guys to question on transparency, they start mentioning countries like DRC Congo. They mention countries like South Sudan, but they keep on siphoning money, misplaced priorities, spending carelessly, but they don't want to be asked to be questioned. We saw the president promising Harambee Stars millions of money in the event that they win the matches. It's good. Congratulations to Harambee Stars. They won the match. But that is just to put the president at test if he is a man of his words. We want to see them, the players, getting the money that the president said. We want to see the players being appreciated and being paid that 1 million shillings each, as the president said. But unfortunately, we fail to understand what kind of a person we have in State House. The same affordable housing that Kenyans are being taxed every day to build. He mentioned and he said that hiyo mambo ya affordable housing nitawapea kila mtu nyumba. So then it puts us the question of who is supposed to benefit from these houses, or are affordable housing and houses are projects for the president to reward and issue out to people that he feels like deserves them, or we don't understand. When these things started, we asked the critical question, but we asked what are the criteria of distribution of these houses. Nobody has ever answered that till today. Lastly, I want to put it on record on the issue of education, and I want to tell Kenyans, in 1997, President William Ruto was a first-term MP. In 2002, he was serving his second term as member of parliament. When Iebc introduced free primary education, President Ruto was a member of parliament. But before then, Ruto had enjoyed all the privileges that somebody could enjoy as far as education is concerned in this country. He enjoyed free education. He was enjoying boom at that time. At that time, hostels were barely 4,300 for the whole year. Students were paid to go to school. But today he's trying to tell Kenyans that you cannot go to school under his regime. Hostels today at University of Nairobi, where he schooled, have been multiplied by 10. Today, from 4,300 to 43,000. The system of funding, in as much as they are playing propaganda and PR stunts that they've revised it, on the ground, nothing has been revised. Just paper and pen is what they are doing. We want to tell the regime, and specifically the president, because he's the one who the buck stops with, that education is very critical. Education is the only equalizer. Education is the reason why the president even came to Nairobi. Because if he could have not qualified to come to the University of Nairobi, maybe he could be doing farming in the villages somewhere, farming sugarcane and doing other things. But because he got an opportunity to join the University of Nairobi, and that's for education. If not for education, he couldn't have been a president today. If not for education, many people in this country couldn't have achieved what they've achieved. So we must all agree that education must be prioritized, education must be respected, and students must be appreciated. Lastly, on the issues around security and matters of health, I want to say that there are three critical things that the government, any government, must give. That is health, security, and education. Those ones are bare minimum that Kenya Kwanza regime must deliver between now and 2027. Now, by the way, President William Ruto must understand that he only has 2 Christmas remaining. Just 2. He's left with Christmas of 2025 and the Christmas of 2026. Because 2027 Christmas, he'll be eating that Christmas in the village with his grandchildren. If the opposition could have decided not to jail him. But he must understand that he has only 2 Christmas. In short, he must do the right thing within the time frame that is left. Thank you, and one term is inevitable.
Also protect votes. I've heard many people speak. Nonsensical and stupid members of parliament come Kate and Sudi saying how they are going to steal votes. Can you steal votes for young people anyway? Can young people vote then that they steal our votes? It's impossible, man. Tutawatoa huko. Yeah. I mean, they are saying that because they know they have already lost. And the fact of the matter is, that is just a threat. Because when somebody is defeated, he always says he has this other card that is actually unconstitutional. But I want to tell you, when you're voting or when you're preparing to vote, just know one thing, that when you cast that vote at the polling station, that vote is binding. Nobody can steal it. The elections that we have done ever since 2013 have changed the narrative of the voting in Kenya. Because the rulings that the Supreme Court has made, they are very clear that the last vote, the counting vote, is the one that is counted at the polling station. Now, this is the catch. In the polling station, we only can cast 500 votes. Maximum 500 votes, because others are, streams. So if you are to steal votes, to change the narrative and change the presidential vote, you have got to collude with close to over 1 million polling centers. And that is not possible. That is not possible. So nobody should threaten our democracy by saying that they will steal our votes. And I want you to mark those people who are actually saying that. Mark them. Tutawavuta lesson pale mbele. Because it is against our constitution. If somebody is saying that literally is saying, he is ready to ban this country for their own interest. All I'm saying is we are going to plan ourselves We are going to ensure the votes count, and we are going to ensure that the voice of the young people is amplified to an extent where the next president, and I know the crisis of the joblessness of this nation, of the young people, is not an issue that can be solved. This president has failed in solving it. There is obvious reason why I say that. I was elected in the UDA. I was one of the people who were saying bottom up. Kwanza mimi ungeniguza nikiwa hapo. Yeah. But let me tell you something. When we got in, I did not subscribe to the only agenda of making our young people employed is to take them abroad. I never subscribed to that. And I actually put it forward even to the president himself that this should not be our big agenda. Because our young people cannot be taken out of this nation to places like Saudi Arabia where they are being raped. And that is actually an agenda of government. It's not acceptable. I did not subscribe to the fact that our main agenda as a government is housing. That should be, it was our agenda, yes, but it was not our main agenda. Because housing is an individualistic problem. I don't have somewhere to sleep. But what do we talk about when we talk about development? We talk about things such as common user facilities, such as roads, such as water, such as electricity. You cannot keep quiet on these three, then you come talk about houses every day. Because when somebody gets a house like that lady who moves around everywhere, being told she's the one that owns the houses. She has a house. It is hers and her children. What about her neighbor? Does she have a house? So the government of the day has failed and is just amplifying things that cannot be appreciated by Kenyans at home. When Kibaki made education free, that was touching on almost everybody, on every household. When Uhuru decided to do infrastructural projects that he has done, however, with the cost that is now the loans that we are reeling on, that was touching on everyone. If you use Thika Road, Thika Superhighway, you are happy. If you're using the road, I saw roads in Kisumu that are very well done, you are happy. But when you have a house there, you are seeing a beautiful house. You'll only ask who's the owner of that house. You can admire it from afar and then go back to your small house. So my idea is, moving forward, and God willing, I will have a very powerful position in the next government.
Yes.
We are going to ensure things such as housing levy is used for common user facilities, so that you, who is northeastern and doesn't have water, let's make sure that every household has water. That is now where we can say government is working. You, who don't have roads, when a road is made, even the one with a motorbike uses that road. Even the one that walks uses that road. Those are the things that we need to be focusing on. And somebody is trying to actually modify our Kenyans' mind, not to look at those things, but look at houses and jobs abroad. Honestly speaking, that is a trap, and we're not going to fall for it. And at the end of the day, I want to tell you guys, don't lose hope of the nation called Kenya. It is under threat, but Kenya is bigger than all of us. Kenya is a blessed nation, and Kenya will thrive past any regime that want to finish it. And I want to say thank you very much. When a CEO planned the International Youth Week very well. We would like to even get a bigger number of young people in the National Assembly so that we can come and put in our agendas. Our National Assembly is lost. Let me say that as a member of Parliament, that we no longer have a National Assembly that serves the people of Kenya. The National Assembly we are having right now is serving the interest
of the executive. We have embarrassingly failed the people of Kenya by even giving a free blank check to the president that he can borrow left and right. Today we are speaking about secularization of the levies that I'm discussing here, whereby the money that is being collected is being put as security for loans that are not recorded as in the national debt. It tells you that in another 20 years we'll be in the bigger crisis than we are in today. There is no accountability whatsoever on monies that are being borrowed. We have borrowed now 176 billion for roads with the housing, with the fuel levy, but no roads that anybody is seeing being gazetted. I mean, being put on papers as being made. These monies are going in people's pockets. That is why you can see every weekend there is somebody with a kibeti who moves around examining